Okay, hello, welcome to the third and final video in this clock programming tutorial series. So this will be our final, this will be our final lesson. We're just going to add a little bit more to our clock and then that will be it done. Okay, so we'll just go over what we did in the previous lesson. Okay, so we got this, so you should have this if you followed the previous two lessons. You got your clock, below you got your alarm where you set the time, and then you got your set and your stop button where it just plays a console beeping sound. So what we're going to do this time, we're going to set it up so it plays our own music file. So you could use either a song or a different alarm sound, so you can play any music file you want. And we're also going to add a message box to it, so you can type in the message box, set your alarm, then when the time comes the alarm rings and the message box pops up. Okay, so they're two very simple things, so this isn't going to be a very long lesson. Okay, so let's see, first things first, we're going to have to delete timer 3 and all traces of it from our code, because we're not going to use this console beep anymore. We're going to put in our own music file, so we want to get rid of the timer 3 and the timer 3 code. Okay, so if you double click on timer 3, then select all of the code, okay, and then just hit the delete button, okay, get rid of all of that. Okay, then next you also want to get rid of the code from the stop button, okay, where it says timer 3.stop. We want to get rid of that because we don't have timer 3 anymore, so get rid of that, select and delete. And then also from timer 2, which where it says timer 3.start, we want to get rid of that. Okay, so just select and delete. Okay, so now we're ready. Okay, we're ready to start programming. So just check that you delete all the right bits so you got no errors. So there's nothing left of timer 3, so just delete the actual timer itself, get rid of that. Okay, and then we're ready to start. Okay, so first you're going to want to get a music file. You're going to need a WAV file, okay? So if you go on the internet, this is a site that I just found just by typing in free WAV alarm sounds, and you can just download them for free. So you can go to this same site, soundbible.com, or find a different site, or if you want to use your own music file, you can convert it to WAV, and there's free online converters, so you can just Google that, okay, and convert the sounds you want into a WAV file. So just make sure it's a WAV file, okay? So I think for this one I use this massive war with alarm, okay, and I downloaded that as a WAV. Okay, so get that sorted, get your WAV file, and then come back to this tutorial, okay? Alright, so if you got that done, then the first thing is to import it into our project. Okay, so if you look on the right hand side, you've got lesson 1 clock and your form at the bottom. Where it says my project, you want to double click on that. Okay, so my project, double click, and it will bring this up. Then fifth from the top it says resources, so click on that, and then you should be looking at the same thing I'm looking at. Then at the top where it says add resource, you want to hit the arrow to the right of that, bring down the drop down menu and click on add existing file. Okay, then this will bring up your file explorer. So just navigate to where you have stored your file. Mine's on my desktop, so it's that one there. Okay, then click open, and that's it. So now if you look on the right hand side, you've got a resources folder and you've got your WAV music file inside of that. Okay, so just click the cross button to close it, and make sure you save the changes, so make sure you click on yes. Okay, and then that's that done. Okay, so there it is on the right. Okay, so now we've got our file loaded in, now we can get into the coding. So if you double click on timer 2, okay, so we'll go back to our main piece of code here. So we've got if the alarm.text equals the timer day, then timer 2 dot stop, timer 2 stops. Okay, so then after this bit of code, So if you go to the line below, this is where we're going to input our new line of code. Okay, that's going to play our alarm sound. Okay, so the first thing you want to write is my. Okay, so my. Okay, and I'll do it in a minute. Okay, so there we go. My. Okay, so you can double click that. Then you want to do a dot computer. Okay, so my computer. Okay, so it's fairly self-explanatory. Then you want to do another dot. Okay, and then audio. So you can either type it or just click it. Okay, so my dot computer dot audio. Then dot again and play. Okay, so this is very self-explanatory. So you're just basically playing an audio file from your computer. Okay, so next we have to specify the audio file that we want to play. Okay, so we've got to tell it where it is. So after the play, you want to do brackets. Okay, then you want to do my dot resources. Okay, so type it or select it. Okay, so my dot resources. So this is obviously referring to your resources folder. Okay, so next should be pretty self-explanatory. Just do a dot and then type the name of your song. It should come up. See, bomb, mine came up by itself. Okay, so my dot resources dot bomb. Okay, your file name will obviously be different. Okay, then all we have to do after this is do a comma. And then as you can see, okay, so you put in your data and your play mode, and you want to put in the audio play mode. Okay, so make sure you type that in. Again, it comes up. Okay, so comma, audio play mode, and then dot background. Okay, so play it in the background. Okay, and then that's it. So it's quite a long line of code, but it is fairly self-explanatory. Okay, so that's how you can put in your own audio file. Okay, so that will play it. Okay, so next we've got to sort out our stop button. Okay, so this alarm's going to play and we want to be able to turn it off. So again, if you think about it, this is should be quite straightforward. If you look at the code we've just written, we just wrote my computer audio play. Okay, so if you think about it, what we want to do is stop it. So what we're going to write is my computer audio stop. Okay, so again, very straightforward piece of coding. Okay, so let's type that, my dot computer dot audio, okay, and dot stop. Okay, and make sure you put in the closed brackets at the end. Okay, so just empty brackets. Okay, and that's it. That should work. Okay, so what you might want to do now is click on the start button. Okay, and just test it out. Set your alarm, put in the time, click set. You're not going to hear any sound come out of mine because this is a commentary over, over the video that I previously made. So mine, you're not going to hear my alarm sound, but trust me, it does ring, and yours should too. Okay, so our alarm's working. So what we're going to do next is just put in a text box so we can get a message to pop up. Okay, so on the left hand side in your toolbox, you just want to scroll down to text box. Okay, drag that in, and the little arrow on the top, just want to click that, and then you want to select multi-line. What that allows you to do is to well, obviously enter multiple lines of text. Okay, so if you want to write a long message, you can. Okay, so I'm just going to redesign my form here a little bit so I can make some space for the box. Okay, so feel free to change your design and make the box whatever size you want it to be. I'm just going to stick mine in the center, something like that. Okay, so that's that done. So that's going to be where we're going to write our text. Okay, so you'll set your time, type your text, hit set on the alarm, and then you get a little message box popping up with your message. Except of course at the moment we haven't coded anything, so it's not going to pop up. Okay, so let's sort that out. Okay, so first you just want to be aware of what the name of this box is. So if you look at its properties in the bottom right hand side and scroll down to the design area, you'll see that the name we're going to use is a text box 1. Okay, I'm just going to leave mine as this, but you can change this to whatever you want. Okay, so feel free to change it if you want to make it a little bit simpler. Okay, but I'm just going to leave it as text box 1. Okay, so just remember this name. Okay, because we're going to have to type it in a minute. Okay, so we're going to go back to timer 2. So select that, double click it, and go back to your bit of code. So, okay, so we've got timer 2 to stop, my audio play your audio file. Then we're going to add a new line. Okay, so hit enter, make a new line. Okay, and this is really, really simple, because what we're going to do, we're just going to bring up a message box. Okay, so we're just going to actually type message box, and you see it's come up there, so MSG box, message box. Okay, dead easy, and then you want to put in brackets at the end of that. Okay, so in the brackets we're going to tell it which text we want it to display. Okay, so we want it to display the text from our text box 1. Okay, so this is what we're going to type. Okay, so text box 1. Okay, and again it will probably come up. Okay, and don't forget dot text. Okay, because we don't want it. You can't display the actual box itself. It's got to display the actual text that's within the box. Okay, so just remember you've got to do a dot text. If you don't, you'll get an error. Okay, and that's it. That's it. Finished. You know. Okay, so let's just give it a check. So start it up. Type in a message. Set your time. Okay, then hit the set button. Again, you're not going to hear the alarm sound for mine, but you know it is there. And then, see, then you get this message box. Hit OK, then stop your alarm. Okay, so it should be working. So you know this is the final lesson for this digital clock. This is about as much as we can do with it, I think. So hope you learned something, and next lesson we'll be building something new. So see you then. Okay, goodbye.